I smiled and said, "Yes." But the room suddenly felt wrong. The man looked at me. I looked at him. Nobody moved, nobody spoke, and I didn't understand why. Before the story starts, if you enjoy learning English through real stories, you can subscribe to the channel. Now, let me tell you what happened. My name is Mia. I'm from Stuttgart, Germany. I came to Edinburgh for a short trip. 5 days, just me and my small backpack. I wanted to see the castle, walk the old streets, and feel something different, something far from home. I also wanted to practice my English. That was the real reason. I studied English in school for many years, but in real life, I always felt nervous. My grammar was okay, my vocabulary was okay, but when a real person looked at me and waited for me to speak, my mind went quiet, my words disappeared. So I chose a shared Airbnb, not a hotel, not a private room, a shared apartment with other guests, a shared kitchen, and a shared living room. I thought, this is good practice. This is real life, real conversations with real people. And it was cheaper. That helped too. I arrived late in the afternoon. I was tired from the train. My bag was heavy. The apartment was nice, warm, clean, with big windows and soft yellow lights in the living room. The host, a woman named Claire, showed me my room and told me to make myself at home. I put my bag down. I washed my face. Then I went to the living room to sit and rest. That was when I met him. His name was James. He was a young man, maybe 30 years old. He sat in the armchair near the window with a book. He looked relaxed. He looked at home. I sat down on the sofa and put my hands in my lap. I felt a little nervous, not because of him, just because of the English, because I knew that maybe he would talk to me, and I would have to answer. He smiled at me. I smiled back. Then he closed his book and looked at the sofa. There was space next to me. He stood up slowly and walked toward the sofa. He said, "Do you mind if I sit here?" I heard the words. I understood most of them. Do you mind? I knew mind. I knew sit. I knew here. I thought it was a simple question, so I gave a simple answer. "Yes," I said. He stopped. He looked at me. Then he looked at the sofa. He didn't sit down. He just stood there for 1 second. And then he went back to his armchair. I watched him. I felt confused. Why didn't he sit? The sofa was big. There was enough space. I didn't understand. But I didn't say anything. I thought maybe he changed his mind. I opened my small travel book and tried to read, but something felt wrong. The room was quiet, a comfortable quiet. At first, James read his book. I read mine. The yellow light was soft. Outside, the Edinburgh evening was cold and gray. Then James looked at the window. He stood up again and walked toward it. He stopped near the glass and looked at me. He said, "Do you mind if I open the window just a little?" I heard the same words again. Do you mind? I thought the same thing. He is asking me. He wants my answer. My answer is yes. Yes, you can. Yes, go ahead. Yes, I said again. And I nodded. I even smiled a little. He looked at me. His hand was already near the window, but he stopped. He pulled his hand back. He said, "Oh, okay. Sorry." He walked back to his chair. The window stayed closed. I stared at my book, but I wasn't reading. Something was wrong. I felt it. A strange energy in the room. Not angry, but uncomfortable. Like a small cloud above our heads. James was quiet. He didn't look at me. His face was polite, but not warm anymore. I looked at him. I looked at the window. I looked at the sofa, And slowly, very slowly, I started to feel it. That cold feeling in my stomach. The feeling that says, "You made a mistake." But what mistake? What did I do? I went over the words in my head. "Do you mind if I sit here?" I said yes. He didn't sit. "Do you mind if I open the window?" I said yes. He didn't open it. Why? Then it became awkward. I put my book down. I felt uncomfortable in my own body. My shoulders were tight. I didn't know where to look. I thought about going back to my room. I thought about saying something. But what? What do you say when you don't know what went wrong? James turned a page of his book. He didn't look up. The room felt smaller now. Then I heard footsteps in the hallway. The door opened. It was Claire, the host. She came in with a small smile and a cup of tea. "Everything okay in here?" she asked. She looked at both of us. "Yes," I said. My voice was too fast. James said nothing for a moment. Then he said very politely, "I think there might be a small language thing." Claire looked at him. Then she looked at me. Her face was kind. "Oh," she said softly. James said, "I asked if she minded me sitting on the sofa, and then about the window. She said yes both times, so I thought she didn't want me to. But maybe—" He paused. He looked at me carefully. Not angry, not cold, just careful. "Maybe it was just a different meaning," he said. That was when I realized my mistake. I felt the heat rise in my face. My cheeks went red. Not a little red, very red. I looked down at my hands. I knew it. I knew something was wrong. And now I knew what. "Do you mind?" It was a polite form, like asking for permission. And when someone asks, "Do you mind?" the correct answer is no. Because "no, I don't mind" means yes, go ahead. But I said yes. I said yes, I mind. I said, "This bothers me. Please don't do it." I didn't want to say that. I never wanted to say that. I looked up at Claire. I felt embarrassed. Really embarrassed. Not just a small blush, a deep, uncomfortable embarrassment. The kind that stays in your memory for a long time. I said, "I'm so sorry." My voice was quiet. I think I made a mistake." Claire sat down across from me. Her face was warm. "It's okay," she said. "It's a tricky phrase." I looked at James. "I'm sorry," I said again. I didn't mean that. I thought yes meant, yes, you can. I didn't know." James nodded slowly. "It's fine, really," he said. But I could see he was still a little surprised. I took a breath. I had to be brave now, even if my English was not perfect, even if my voice was shaky. "Can I ask, can you explain it to me? Do you mind? What does it really mean?" Claire smiled. "Of course," she said. "When someone says, 'Do you mind?' they are asking if something is a problem for you. So if you say yes, it means, yes, it is a problem. Yes, I mind." "And if I say no," I said slowly, "it means no problem. You can do it." "Exactly," Claire said. I nodded. I repeated it quietly, almost to myself. No means yes. Yes means no. "I know," Claire said gently. "It's confusing. Even some native speakers find it strange." I looked at James again. "So, do you still want to sit here? On the sofa?" He laughed. A short, quiet laugh. "Yes," he said, "if you don't mind." I smiled. A real smile this time. "No," I said carefully. I don't mind. He moved to the sofa. Claire stood up and opened the window just a little. Cold, clean Edinburgh air came in. It felt good. It felt like the room was breathing again. The small cloud above our heads was gone. James put his book on his knee. He didn't read it right away. He looked at me and said, "For what it's worth, your English is really good." I laughed a little. "It's not," I said. "You explained yourself clearly just now," he said. "That's not easy." I didn't know what to say, so I just said, "Thank you." Claire went back to the kitchen. James opened his book. I opened mine. The room was quiet again, but it was a different quiet now. A softer one. I looked at the open window. The evening light was fading outside. Edinburgh was grey and beautiful. I thought about the word mind. Such a small word. Such a big mistake. I still think about that evening sometimes. I still feel a little embarrassed when I remember my red face. When I remember James standing there, his hand near the window, looking confused. But I also remember how it ended. The open window, the quiet laugh, the feeling of air coming back into the room. My English is still not perfect. It will never be perfect, maybe. But that evening in Edinburgh, I learned something that no textbook ever taught me. Sometimes you have to make the mistake first. Sometimes the embarrassment is the lesson. And that night, sitting on the sofa next to a stranger with a book and a soft lamp and cold air from the window, I felt just a little bit stronger than before. Have you ever said the wrong thing in English and felt that same embarrassed silence? You are not alone. These moments happen to everyone. If this story felt real to you, if you recognize that feeling, then maybe this channel is for you. We share stories like this one every week. Real situations, real feelings, real English. Have you ever misunderstood something like this in English? You're not alone. If you enjoy stories like this, you can subscribe and tell me in the comments which phrase confused you the most.